Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I will start first with the full name and background of this scholar. The full name of this scholar is Abu Al-Hasan Thabit bin Qurra bin Marwan Al-Sabi'i Al-Harrani. He was born in Haran, located between the Dajlah and Euphrates rivers in Upper Mesopotamia, which is today's known as Turkey, in 221 Hijrah, equal to 836 Masihi. He comes from the Ashaibah family and can speak Greek and Arabic. So he is an Arab mathematician, astronomer, physician and philosopher. He was also a representative of the flourishing Arab Islamic culture of the 9th century. Armed with his intelligence, the Islamic scholar has discovered a lot of knowledge and development in the science and mathematics. Thabit also greatly corrected the thinking of Plato and Aristotle, especially on motion. He also was best known for translating classic Greek that works on astronomy and discovered an equation for determining the amicable numbers. He was also known as Thabit in Latin and Western.
Now I will go through life history of Thabit bin Qurra. Thabit was a member of the Sabian religious sect. His heritage was sharp in traditions of Hellenistic culture and pagan veneration of the stars. This background, and in particular his knowledge of Greek and Arabic, made him an attractive prospect for enclosure in one particular community of scholars, the Banu Musa and their circle in Baghdad. Thabit seems to have been asked to join this circle by a family member, the mathematician Muhammad ibn Musa ibn Shakir, who recognized his talents and potential. Thabit subsequently came to fame after traveling to Baghdad when he was invited by Muhammad bin Musa bin Shakir, one of the Banu Musa brothers. He worked in Baghdad and he occupied himself with mathematics, astronomy, mechanics, medicine, and philosophy. Armed with his intelligence, this Islamic scholar has discovered a lot of knowledge and development in the science of mathematics. Based on scientific writing, Thabit is narrated to be a significant individual in the discovery of analytical geometry, calculus, trigonometry, astronomy, and more. The height of his knowledge was admired by another mathematician, is Muhammad ibn Musa ibn Shakir. Thus, Muhammad ibn Musa had chosen Thabit to join a group of scientists in Baghdad ruled by the Abbasid Caliph. It is narrated that one day he disagreed with his group of the students about some things that made them think that had left the group until they forbade him to enter their place of worship. Following the incident, Thabit migrated to an area known as Kafur. There he met a great scientist in the field of mathematics, namely Muhammad Musa al-Khwarizmi, who was impressed with Thabit's intelligence. Finally, al-Khwarizmi took him to Baghdad, and there Thabit bin Qurra taught mathematics, astronomy, medicine, and philosophy, and then joined the school of Musa bin Shakir to teach the science he mastered. Thabit was loved by Al-Mu'tad, and he gave a high position to Thabit. In fact, he was seated next to the Caliph while joking with him, without being accompanied by the ministers and other dignitaries as well as his friends. Since mathematics is closely related to the development of important technology in the world today and is based on a detailed calculation process, so true and scientific, then there is no doubt that Thabit ibn Qurra is considered one of the great scholars who contributed greatly to modern human civilization.
Next is the contributions of Thabit ibn Qurra. Thabit ibn Qurra is most well known for his translation of ancient Greek texts into Arabic. Most of the Greek texts he translated were written about mathematics. He translated many books written by such important Greek mathematicians such as Euclid, Archimedes, and Apollonius. He also discovered the basics of integral calculus and generalized Pythagoras' theorem to an arbitrary triangle. In the fields of mechanics and physics, he may be recognized as the founder of statistics.
Other than his contributions in the field of mathematics and physics, Thabit ibn Qurra also has been made an important discoveries and as well as contributions in the field of astronomy. It was all began when he was believed to be an astronomer for a caliph named Caliph al-Mu'tadi, he was able to apply his mathematical knowledge to study the Ptolemaic astronomy, which was founded by Ptolemy himself, and Thabit also sometimes credited with developing a medieval astronomy theory known as equinox trepidation, which explains the precession of equinoxes. But on top of that, Thabit ibn Qurra has made important discoveries on a sidereal year, which consists of 365 days, 6 hours, 9 minutes, and 12 seconds, an error of 2 seconds, according to Copernicus. And his discoveries on the sidereal year has been made based on his observation on Ptolemy's hypothesis, which states that while looking at the Earth and measuring it against a background of fixed stars, it will have a constant value. But other than that, Thabit also has wrote his observation of the sun in a book, and he also investigated the difficulties of the motion of the sun and moon, and also as well as the theory of the sundials in relation to the Ptolemy's planetary hypothesis. Not only Thabit bin Qurra was an expertise in many fields like mathematics, physics, astronomy, philosophy, and many more, but he also was a writer throughout his life and have been published a few books based on his discoveries. And one of his books, known as De Annosolis, which contained and preserved information about the astronomy's evolution in the 9th century. And in his book also, he proposed that on determining the solar year is by observation to the sun's return to a certain star. The next one is the manuscript and published book made by Thabit bin Qurra throughout his life, such as the astronomical works of Thabit bin Qurra. The next one is Kitab fi al-Qurastun, which contains the information on mechanical field. And then the third one is Kitab al-Mafrudat, which contains the data of geometry. And the next one is the work of concerning the motion of the 8th sphere. And the last one is Kitab fi Ta'lim an-Nisab, which contains the information and knowledge on the composition of a ratio.